I want to say give thanks for life. You want love black people. I'm going to say you're the provider, Celestia, the Almighty. Joe! Rastafari live on the man in the heart of all flesh. Kalonji, get the place of fire, rises high. Open the eyes, you better be wise. You don't know, take the place of fire, rises high. Yo, for the little you, I'm going to show you.
Okay, thanks again for joining us. This is episode 7 of Catcha Fyah. As usual, we're recording right here in the River Terminal. This week, we're going to be talking not necessarily music, but again, we're going to be talking some influence. There's a program, I'm sure many of you have heard of it. It's called Honey Jam, very developmental, very positive, and it caters to young ladies singing all types of genres. I would say outside of the mainstream that we've all become accustomed to, soca/reggae. So I want to say big respect to all those ladies out there singing something different, endorsing music in general. So when we come back, we're going to be talking to the producer, the founder of Honey Jam, Ebonnie, when we come back.
When the rain is pouring down and my heart is hurting, you will always be around. This I know for certain.
I love music. Music is all of me. Music is my entire being. And from the time I get on that stage, I transform.
Don't try to stop this, cause we're gonna rock this.
I fly with the stars in the sky. I am no longer trying to survive. I believe that life is a prize, but to live doesn't mean you're alive.
We did the teaser show in February. They were just introducing it to Barbados for the first time. It's been in Canada for 16 years. So we did a teaser in February. It went phenomenal. Wanted to ride that wave of success. Let's do the real thing. So the first one was a taste of Honey Jam. This one is the full meal.
Okay, so we're breaking the cycle tonight, like I told you. We had, quite a bit of guys on the program earlier. We pushed forward this interview. Obviously, you're leaving the island, so we wanted to make sure that we had a chance to speak to you. I think what you're doing is pretty important in the art form. So introduce yourself. I don't think I would have done justice to you in the introduction. So just tell everybody who you are. What's your vibe? Honey Jam.
My name is Ebonnie Rowe. I'm the CEO, nicknamed the Queen Bee of Honey Jam. It's a developmental initiative that happens in both Canada and Barbados. It's multi-genre, it's multicultural, and I'm the chief cook and bottle washer.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. Obviously, we like to, highlight entrepreneurs in this program and stuff. So, first of all, we talk about discovery. Developmental programs are obviously talking youth, not in terms of age, but in terms of maybe the maturity of the person in terms of the art form that they're in. A lot of the ladies that I've seen in Honey Jam, I've not known them prior to the program. So, I mean, has it been a challenge for you being kind of a scout? What has that role been like for you?
I wouldn't say it's been a challenge. When I first decided I was going to do in Barbados, I thought it would be difficult to find people in the variety of genres that I'm used to doing in Canada. So that would be rock, country, opera, hip-hop, R&B, soul, jazz, reggae, alternative, everything. And I was pleasantly surprised to find all of those things here, and artists hungry for an opportunity for somewhere to perform them, right? And so where's somebody who sings country in Barbados, who nobody knows who they are, where are they going to get to even, try out their skills, get some performance experience? So I found that the artists were really drawn to the concept of being able to be who they are, be able to experiment on stage, to not be put in a box.
What were you expecting? I don't want to cross you, but what were you expecting? I mean, coming to Barbados in search, what were you expecting?
I knew that, well, the sense that I had was that most people were into reggae and soca for the most part, and that's what I was seeing a lot of, or doing a lot of top 40 covers on the tourist circuit, but I did not think I would find someone doing country or rock or some of the other.
What surprised you? Was it the fact that we had people here singing all these different genres of music, or the quality of the product?
Both.
Okay.
Both. So because I know that it's very much a tourist destination, and so a lot of the places where you go for entertainment are catering to the tourists, and you're playing a lot of top 40 covers. So I knew that there weren't a lot of opportunities for artists to hone their skills who are not known. So I was not expecting the level of quality that I found. I was very pleasantly surprised and impressed. And any industry people who I've brought in from overseas are also really impressed, because their artists are not just, oh, they're good for Barbados or good for the Caribbean. Many of them are at an international standard without having the benefit of all of the things that you would get in somewhere like New York or Canada or London, you know, where there's so many places you can go and perform and hone your skills and get training and exposure and that sort of thing. And so the artists have a lot to feel proud of and accomplished about. And then you think, wow, if this is the level that you're at with the very, very few resources that you have on this island, what can you morph into when you do have those things? So,
okay, coming here and starting your product, have you been able to expand, I suppose, into a national level to say, well, there's some sort of governmental interest in your product, that after Honey Jam is done, there's some sort of carbon copy, at least to pick up that developmental work? I mean, what's happening right now?
well, first of all, I'm not planning to be done anytime soon, so I haven't made that succession plan or whatever. We are trying to get government involved, because obviously entertainment tourism is a very real thing. And I think that because of what's happened with Rihanna, they're starting to understand what a powerful tool entertainment is, and how with the web, nothing is local anymore. Everything is international. And they've said that it's something that they want to invest in. And so I have certainly had conversations. We have had some support, and I would like to see more. But it's definitely a worthy investment for them.
Okay, let's talk about the people that you've influenced so far. Obviously, there are a lot of people who would have received great and tremendous exposure from this product. So you enter Honey Jam, you partake in the workshop. I want you to talk to me about the full extent of the opportunity that you're making available to these young ladies.
Okay. So there's not a lot of places for an artist to perform here. And when you are unknown, and let's say that you are able to find a venue, who's coming to see you? They don't know who you are, they've never seen you perform, so maybe your Aunt Mabel is going to come, but who else is coming? So we are providing a well-produced, very well-promoted, very well-executed showcase where you've got lights, camera, action, sound, media, great photographers, and an audience to cheer you on. You're going to get great video footage as well. You're going to get to network with people in the industry, with other artists, with songwriters, producers, agents, managers, media, so many different types of people who can help your career. And then you get known. As you were saying, that a lot of the artists that you have seen at Honey Jam, you had never heard about them beforehand. For many of them, it's the very first time they've ever been in the newspaper, you know, that they've ever been on a radio show. And again, it would be difficult for them as an unknown artist to call up a radio station and say that, but to be part of this collective that has a mission and a purpose and a vision that people can buy into and support, they'd be happy then to have you come on and help to push you forward. So there's a lot of different long-lasting opportunities. We do the compilation CD, which is something that is a promotional tool that
So
I
it's
give.
aftermarket, as long as it's finished. You have something tangible. That,
Yes, yes, and that we can give to people who don't live here, you know. So yeah, it's an awesome thing, and it's something that is a forever thing. So once you're part of the Honey Jam family, you're always a part of the Honey Jam family. So if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, I'm looking for 10 artists to do a certain thing," then I look in my database and I've got 60 different artists who have passed through Honey Jam, and that's who I'm going to first, right? And so maybe 5 years after they performed, they might get an opportunity. Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. We're obviously going to show our viewers some video of your performances, your workshop and stuff, some music videos of some of the artists as well. What I want you to do for me, obviously, behind the music, behind the performance, obviously there's certain skills and techniques that you obviously have to put out during the workshop. Behind all of that, there's a certain, obviously, energy. There's a vibe that you have to obviously put to these young ladies to be able to face an audience, to do an interview, certain basic life principles. So I want you to talk to me about that briefly, in like a part 1, part 2 vibe. We're gonna obviously take a bit from you, obviously, of your impact on the girls, and then I want you to take it personal for me after the break. So just answer that first bit for me. Yeah, it was. I just need for you to really separate it for me, obviously, in terms of what happens at the workshops outside of music. Outside of music, I want you to talk to me about personal development. What do you do with the young ladies?
Do you want me to take you through the different events? There are 7 events.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, Honey Jam season consists of 7 events. We start with the launch, which is where we let people know we're back. These are our plans for the year. Then we have the auditions. So the artists come out, they have 60 seconds, they perform, they can do a cover or they can do an original song. If they do a cover, I tell them we're not doing karaoke. So try to make it your own, make us feel as if you wrote the song. And some artists are really creative, so they'll use the melody from a song that everybody knows, but they'll put their own lyrics to it. So you get people on your side when it's something that is already familiar to them. But if you are great at writing a song yourself, and many of the artists are, and from the minute that people hear it, they're on board with it. So that's the audition process. You need to, in 60 seconds, show and prove that you're someone we should take notice of. So we're looking for poise, for stage presence. Are you able to command the attention of the crowd? Can you work the stage? When you open your mouth, do you have talent? Can you project? What do you look like? Do you have style? Those sorts of things we're looking at. After that, we choose, so we have a panel of about 10 judges from different areas of the industry. They rate the artists, and then we go through, we shortlist them. We choose about 15 to 20 to be in the show. Next, we do the press conference. That's where we announce to everybody who has been chosen to be part of the year's lineup. Then we have the 3 workshops. One is a songwriting workshop. So they are learning not only about the craft of songwriting, but also about publishing, about copyright, about the business of music, from people who are expert in that field, right? So they're hearing them talk about their experiences, and then they will kind of workshop with them the process of writing, maybe give them a topic, get them to start thinking, let them know that everyone can actually write a song. So we've had artists like Indrani, like Kite, like Simon Pipe be a part of the songwriting workshop. And we brought in someone from one of the largest publishing companies in the world, Warner Chappell Music Publishing, to come in and talk about that side of it. Then we have the vocal and performance workshop, where you're going to learn about how to hold a microphone, breathing exercises, how to command a stage, what to do if you're sick and how to get over that so that you can still sing.
Holistic approach.
Yes, what kinds of foods you should or should not eat. How long before you perform should you eat? There's so many things, vocal exercises that
This is free.
we provide it free.
Wow.
We
Nice.
provide it free. We do a lot. We do a lot for the artists, and I'm not sure that they understand and appreciate just how much it is. Sometimes there can be a sense of entitlement in some societies, and where people can be a little bit coddled and feel like they are owed something. And I even have people say, okay, so you do all the workshops and then you do the show, and then what do you do for us? And I'm like, am I your mom? Like, what do you mean? Is that not enough?
These are very important skills that you're talking
And
about.
this is for free? And then, so I say to many people, if you're going to UE and you're taking some courses there, and then your courses are done, you don't look to UE and say, well, so now get me a job, right? You take what you've learned and off you go, right? You empower yourself. So what we're giving is probably more than $10,000 worth of learning and opportunity and videos and that sort of thing. So, and then we do a music industry workshop where they learn about management, about touring, about, again, more about the behind the scenes business of music.
We're going to take a break. We're going to see exactly what this Honey Jam is all about. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about you now. Right? All right.
That's why I'm in love with you. You give me the sweetest taboo. Sometimes I think you're just too good for me. I do anything for you. I stand out in the rain. Anything you want me to do, don't let it slip away. When she rolls, she's like a summer that sways so cool and sways so gently that when she passes, each one she passes goes out. Oh, but you watch her so sadly. How can he tell her he loves her? Yes, he would give his heart gladly. But each time when she goes to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at.
Okay, so we're back. We got enough insight into Honey Jam, what it's about, the foundation of the entire movement. What's the motivation behind it to put in this level of work? What motivated you, inspired you to really take up the brand and run with it and put in this level of work?
Both of my parents have also always been very community minded, and so they passed that down to us. Always did a lot of volunteer work. In the 90s, 3 girlfriends of mine committed suicide within a span of 5 years. And when the first one happened, I was studying English literature at the University of Toronto, and I dropped out. And I was very conscious about the brevity of life and about wanting to have a purpose-driven life and wanting to have a legacy, have done something. So I thought, well, what if I was to die today? What have I done? What have I left behind? And so I decided then that I needed to do something that meant something, that had an impact on other people. And so I started a mentoring program called Each One Teach One, and out of Each One Teach One came Honey Jam. So I have always been community-minded. I've always been about mentoring, about education, about empowerment for young people, about pushing forward young people.
Okay, so you're like I don't know, not really a missionary. I don't know. I want you to take me behind that.
I have a mission and I have a vision. When I think of missionary, I think of that attached to, say, the Mormon religion or something, where you're trying to take people and you don't really respect their beliefs, but you want to turn them away from what they already believe to what you believe for your own purposes.
Well, what do you believe?
So I don't like that term missionary. You know, I might give someone an opportunity that's theirs to decide if they want or not. There's no strong arming. There's no your way is the wrong way. You're only going to get this if you follow my way. So that's what comes to my mind when I think about missionary. So I wouldn't.
I mean, we might as well have a frank discussion. This is quote unquote Easter for many people who are assigned to the Christian religion. So I mean, one of the things on this program we try to push consciousness, which is more leaning towards spirituality as opposed to religion. So talk to me about you personally. What's your vibe? What do you believe in per se?
I believe in the basic tenet of treating others like you would like to be treated. So I don't subscribe to a specific religious dogma. I don't have a book that tells me how I'm supposed to behave. I try to just be a charitable person, be a good person, to think about other people, to be giving, to be generous, to be open. So to do good things, to practice random acts of kindness and purposeful acts of kindness and progression, you know, supporting positive things. That's what I believe in.
Okay, so no technicalities. I want you to explain to me how is it that an individual adopts a mindset like that, not to be governed or commanded by a specific literature or religion. I mean, we live in a world where many of us in the Caribbean obviously came up with quote-unquote Christian values. Our very own government is somewhat tied to the church. The education system is tied to the church as well. So it's very much in our DNA, so to speak. So how do you adopt a mentality such as yours? Where did that come from? I mean, behind that, I'm trying to figure out how would you have adopted that approach to life?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I'm born under the sign of Leo, and Leos tend to be leaders and independent thinkers. So I just move how I feel I should move in the world and what feels good to me. I don't feel like I have to live up to someone else's expectations of what they think I should be or fit into their box or their labels. So I guess non-conformist. But for people who have beliefs, that's entirely fine. I wouldn't try to dispossess someone of what they believe. I just know what I believe and what works for me, and I practice that.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't take that to mean that you wouldn't attempt, obviously through your own work, to make positive impact on the young ladies who come through your quarters, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Precisely. So my thing is, the young ladies who are watching this program, even young guys as well, who maybe obviously want to get into entertainment, the arts, you name it, creativity. So you always want to get, persons I interview to leave a word of advice in your own words. Say something to them, speak to them directly. I mean, everybody seems to think that these are conflict times where young people are challenged and faced with many different issues socially. So speak to them for me. Tell me, I don't know, what would you say to them to keep them on the quote-unquote right path?
To do specifically with entertainment or generally?
Well, generally, because I find if we seek personal development generally, then that can only improve every other sphere in our life. So make it general.
I think that they have to know what their passion is. A lot of times people might, again, look at expectations. So their parents might expect them to be a doctor, but they really love the saxophone and that's what they want to do. So I guess they have to decide for themselves, who are you? What motivates you? What is your passion? What do you love to do? Just try to have some clarity about what you want. It's very difficult to move forward if you don't know what direction you want to go in, if you're waffling in any way, if you're lost in any way. I had mentioned to you that I had a mentoring program in Toronto. It was profession-based. So young people would come to us and say, oh, I want to be an accountant, because that's what they thought they wanted to be. And then we would match them with someone who was an accountant. And they could go to them, pick their brain, look at the office, find out what the educational requirements were, and is it something that they really wanted to do? And a lot of times, once they found out what it really was, it wasn't what they wanted to do. So whatever you need to do to help yourself find that clarity, speak to people in some of the areas that you think you might want to be in and find out what it takes. Try to maybe shadow them in some kind of way, do some kind of work program where you can be there for a couple of weeks and get the feel of it and see if it's something that you want to do. Ask questions. Once you do decide that you want to do something, qualify yourself, learn all that you can about it, volunteer, be an intern. You might not make money, but you're getting valuable experience that you can then put on your resume. I do that all the time. Don't be shy about asking questions. Don't have an ego about it. Not everybody knows everything. You have to always be open to learning and take advantage of opportunities. They say that you can't take advantage of an opportunity if you don't recognize it. And I see that happening so many, many times. And in Honey Jam, when we'll put on a workshop and it's free, and artists don't come because they slept in, or they're out with their boyfriend, or they're getting their nails done and they're just not getting it. That's not how the world works. This is something that could do so much for you. And when you have to know what your priorities are. You have to decide, what am I willing to sacrifice? But a lot of people, again, have a sense of entitlement. Many people live at home. Many times their parents or people are not giving them any expectation. They're not requiring anything of them. So they could be living at home until they're 30-something. And it's like they have that safety net to fall back on, and which removes the motivation to excel, to take risk, and to push yourself forward. So yeah, those are some of the things that I tell people. Surround yourself with people who know more than you. That is very, very key. You don't want a lot of yes men around you. If you're insecure, then you do. But if you are a secure person and you know what you want, then you don't have an ego about it. You always want people around that you can learn from so that you can grow and improve.
Okay, we're going to take a sneak peek into one of the workshops that you had recently. When we come back, we're going to, take it up a notch, because you've come here, obviously, and you would have seen how things work. And I want you to honestly make some suggestions. Hopefully some of the officials in the key areas are watching this program, that they can, take some free notes and help things to improve when we come back.
It's a little bit sleepy from all you but no excuses tonight, folks. Bring your A game.
We are starting in 6 minutes. So please have fun with it, engage with the audience, work the stage, be confident. awesome show. If you need anything, make sure you check with the stage crew. When I say honey, you say jam, honey, jam, honey, jam. You're all Wonder Women, all right, girls.
Okay, so we're back. We've been getting some lashes for, obviously this is the internet. We upload online. So the length of the interviews, obviously, we need to keep it a little tight. So we're going to close off soon, but I want you to just identify for me. We always like to just say this every single time, every episode. We always want to find solutions and make things better, So what can you suggest? What are some of the things that Barbados can implement across the board to facilitate, a faster movement, creating a music industry, something viable for young people to look forward to? What can we do?
I think one of the things I've noticed here is that there's so much focus solely on crop over. There are a lot of musicians who are only producing music for crop over, which is only a certain number of weeks during the year.
8 to 12 weeks.
Yes, if you want to have a thriving music industry, there needs to be music played throughout the year. And there needs to be incentive to do that. So part of that is also having a certain amount of local music that must be played on radio. For young people coming up, there needs to be more venues where they can have their music heard and they can, hone their skills and performance. Some of the opportunities that I see artists have in Canada is there's so many funding bodies where they can get a grant to develop a website, they can get a grant to produce a video, they can get a grant to do a showcase, they can get a grant to go on tour. There's so many opportunities that they have, so many different outlets. There are schools for the performing arts, there are schools for people who want to learn about engineering and the infrastructure that lifts up the industry. So there's so many different parts of the industry. You have the artists, but then you have everyone behind the scenes, from makeup artists, stylists, managers, engineers, producers, stage setup, lawyers, publishers. Yes, all of these are careers. And as far as I know, there isn't anywhere on island where people can learn these skills. So all of that is part of what would help to make a thriving industry here.
Okay. I don't know. One of the concerns everybody may have, if I put myself in the position of some person who owns a radio station, I sell time, airtime. So I want to make sure that, one, I have listeners, I keep those listeners, and they may not have the confidence in local music per se, right? Do you think, you've traveled, you've heard all types of music, all genres, etc. You're here in Barbados and you've invested in your product. So do you think that any radio station, the best radio station in Barbados, whichever one that may be, are you saying to me that there's enough local content, enough Barbadian produced music across genres that can play mandated on a radio station?
I absolutely believe that. And I think it's a cop-out when I hear radio station heads say that, or intimate as if there would be somehow a lack of quality, that quality would suffer if they were to do that. To me, it means that they've not been listening to artists like Mahalia, like Simon Pipe, like Debbie Reefer. Obviously there's a million in the soca genre, but I'm talking about all different genres of music, rap and again, country, world music, artists like Indrani. Of course, you've got Rupi and Alison Hines and Tony Norville and so many people who have a large repertoire of music, and then you've got the new people coming up. So I haven't heard, well, some radio stations I think have a certain half an hour, or during Independence they'll play, and I hope that it's going to get better, but it can definitely happen. There's definitely the quality, there's definitely enough awesome artists who are putting out some great music.
All right. I want to thank you a lot for coming on the program. It means a lot to us. Your final words, like I said, I just want you obviously to just plug Honey Jam. Yeah, seriously. I think you deserve it. I think you need to just throw yourself out there and let people know what they can expect. 2015 is another big year for you. So just close off and just tell us all about what you have coming up.
Okay. First of all, for more information, they can go to our website, which is honeyjambarbados.com. They can see videos there. They can find out all about what we're doing. 2014, we're back. It's a huge struggle financially. We keep getting better every year. The artists keep getting better. Our production values keep getting better. Everything gets tighter and tighter. But each year it's more difficult to get funding as the economy seems to be crumbling. But we're back this year for sure, and we're trying to attract some more financial support. So the official Honey Jam season starts in September with the auditions. But outside of what we do as the official Honey Jam season, we also take part in other events like Love, Poetry and Song. We had about 10 Honey Jam artists perform there. That was a paying gig for them.
You also had a spin-off, Honey Jazz as well.
Yes, Honey Jazz. That happens in January. So different opportunities present themselves that we're able to offer to some of the artists and get them booked and have a presence at other events throughout the year. We try to support the artists as they do their own gigs as well at places like The Good Life or Lime Bar, etc. So we like to always kind of have our hand in and be out there. Yeah.
That's it.
You can get at me at the website. You can email me, Facebook me. We're really trying to make a difference. We hope that the alums who have come through Honey Jam will pay it forward and help someone else, another artist, along the way. It's a great thing. It's all good.
Yeah, it sure is. I want to thank you again for coming. Do you have a favorite music video? Do you? From any one of the, I'm going to put you on the spot. Just choose one. We're going to find
For any one of the Honey Jam alums?
anyone that we can find on YouTube easily and just give them some forward.
Like We Are Love
Who sings that?
by Debbie Reefer and
Debbie Reefer.
Amber
Okay.
by Debbie Reefer. Not a lot of the artists have their original music.
Right.
Indra has a lot of great music.
Okay.
I've got like maybe 20 of her songs that I
Right.
really,
I suppose it won't be good for you to just pick one.
yeah.
One. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Dream of you riding high beyond the clouds, beyond the sky. I dream of love and all it brings to everyone and everything. Am I dreaming? Must be dreaming. Dreaming, maybe I'm dreaming.
Okay, thanks again for viewing. This has been episode 7 of Catcha Fyah. I think Ebonnie said it best. We don't want to get into labels. We just want to live good, do some good, do a good deed each and every single day. Treat others as you yourself want to be treated. That's the main aim. That's the main message behind Catcha Fyah. We're not trying to get down to the nitty-gritty, all the serious stuff just yet. So just stay tuned to Catcha Fyah. Don't forget to log on to YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, all your social media platforms, even WhatsApp. We're going to be sending you some broadcasts as well, so you can find the link relatively easy. Thanks a lot for viewing. Stay tuned.
I'm gonna say give thanks for life. You want love block people. I'm gonna say you're the provider, Celestia, the Almighty Eye. Joe! Rastafari live on the end of the art of our flesh. Kalonji, boom! Get the place of fire, rises up!